You're sitting in your car outside Target at 10:30 p.m., phone in hand, checking your bank account for the third time. You've got $47 in checking. Payday is Friday. The stuff in your cart costs $38. Toothpaste, laundry detergent, groceries, basic stuff you actually need. While you're doing this math, your coworker Sarah just posted photos from Cabo, her second vacation this month. Same job as you, same salary, same city, but somehow she's on a beach while you're rationing toiletries in a parking lot. What's going on? Is she rich? Did she inherit money? Drowning in credit card debt? I'm Brian from Explain Finance, and the answer is going to make you angry, because it's none of those things. Sarah made one decision 6 years ago that you didn't. Spent 20 minutes setting it up, then forgot about it. That decision is currently worth $43,000. In 30 years, it'll be worth $2.1 million. And if you're tired of watching people who make the same money somehow have completely different lives, hit that subscribe button right now, because today we're breaking down the math nobody taught you in school. Let me show you two people, Jessica and Amanda. Both 28 years old, both make $65,000 a year. Jessica drives a used 2019 Honda Civic. Her investment account has $47,000. Amanda drives a 2024 BMW 3 Series. Her investment account has $3,200. Both think they're doing fine. Let's watch what happens. At 35, Jessica has $162,000 invested. Amanda has $31,000. The gap's noticeable, but Amanda's not worried. She's still young. At 45, Jessica has $535,000. Amanda has $94,000. Now Amanda's starting to panic, but she's got 2 kids and even less room to save. At 55, compound interest goes vertical. Jessica has $1.52 million. Amanda has $218,000. Amanda's Googling how to catch up on retirement at 55, realizing she needs to save 40% of her income. That's not happening. At 65, Jessica has $4.32 million and retires wealthy. Amanda has $461,000. She's doing the math, realizing she's working until 72 minimum. Same starting salary, one financially free, one trapped. What did Jessica do? She invested $500 every month starting at 22. That's it. $500 into an S&P 500 index fund, automatically withdrawn on the 1st of every month. Then she forgot about it, checked maybe once a year. Amanda spent that $500 on car payments her entire 20s and 30s, always had a car payment. That's the entire difference between $4.32 million and $461,000. Now you're thinking, Brian, where am I supposed to find $500 a month? Here's where this gets uncomfortable. You already have it. You're just spending it on things that won't exist in 40 years. Recent data shows Americans spend anywhere from $118 to $219 per month on subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, gym memberships they haven't visited in 6 months, apps they forgot they signed up for. And here's the crazy part. When asked how much they spend, most people guess $86. The actual number? Over $200. Then there's food delivery and dining out, another $280 per month on average. Add those together, and you've got your $500 without even trying. But here's what that money really costs you. That $280 restaurant budget, if you invested it instead, becomes $632,000 in 30 years at 10% returns. You're not spending $280 on dinner. You're spending $632,000 on dinner. That $200 subscription budget becomes $452,000. Every single month, you're choosing between keeping Netflix and retiring 7 years earlier. Most people don't even realize they're making that choice. Let me show you the math that breaks people's brains.
If you invest $500 every month for 40 years in an S&P 500 index fund, you end up with $3.16 million. Out of that $3.16 million, you only contributed $240,000 of your own money. The other $2.92 million, that's 92.4% of your wealth, that came from compound interest. You planted $240,000, the market grew it into $3 million. After 10 years, you'll have about $102,000. After 20 years, $379,000. After 30 years, $1.13 million. The first $100,000 takes about 10 years of grinding, but going from $1 million to $2 million only takes 6.7 more years because your money is now making more money than you're adding. Wait, it gets stupider. Someone invests $5,000 per year from age 25 to 35, 10 years, $50,000 total. Then they stop, never add another dollar. At 8% return, they'll have $787,000 at 65. Someone else waits until 35 and invests $5,000 every year for 30 years straight. They contribute $150,000 total, 3 times more money. They end up with $611,000. The person who invested for 10 years and stopped beats the person who invested for 30 years by $175,000. That's compound interest punishing you for waiting. Even if you did everything right, you just did it a decade too late. If you're getting value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We break down money concepts like this every week to help you actually build wealth. Now here's where you're probably getting nervous. But Brian, what if the market crashes? This is the objection that keeps smart people poor. So let's kill it with data. The S&P 500 has returned approximately 10% annually since 1926. That's almost 100 years, including the Great Depression where the market dropped 86%, World War II, the 1970s stagflation, the dot-com crash, 2008, COVID. Through all of that, the average return is still 10%. After inflation, about 7%. Still enough to turn $500 a month into $1.3 million. But here's the part that should make you feel better. The S&P 500 has never produced a negative return over any 20-year period, not once in history. If you invest consistently for 20 years, you have always made money. Over 30 years, the worst return was 4.3% annually. Every single crash has recovered. The 2020 COVID crash recovered in 5 months. 2008 took 5.5 years. And here's the secret nobody tells you. If you're investing $500 every month, crashes are your friend. When the market drops 30%, your $500 is buying shares at a 30% discount. Dollar cost averaging automatically buys more when prices are low. You don't have to time anything. There's data from J.P. Morgan showing that if you invested $10,000 from 2003 to 2022 and stayed fully invested, you'd have $64,844. If you missed just the 10 best days out of more than 5,000 trading days, your return drops to $29,708, less than half. And 7 of those 10 best days happened during bear markets. If you panic sold during a crash, you almost certainly missed the recovery. The S&P 500 survived the Great Depression, 2 world wars, 9/11, and 2008. But sure, it probably can't survive you putting in $500 a month. So if the math is this obvious, why do most Americans have almost nothing saved? A new report from February 2026 found that the median retirement savings for all working Americans aged 21 to 64 is $955. Not $955,000, $955 total. For those who actually have retirement savings, the median is $40,000. This isn't a math problem, it's a brain problem. Your brain is actively trying to keep you poor, not because it hates you, but because it was designed 200,000 years ago when the biggest financial decision was whether to eat the berries now or save them for tomorrow. Your brain has no framework for understanding sacrifice $500 today to have $3 million in 40 years. So it just says no, eat the berries, and you end up financing a $60,000 truck. There's something called present bias. You'd rather have $500 today than $50,000 in 40 years, even though the math is screaming you're being an idiot. Then there's loss aversion. The pain of losing $100 is 2.25 times stronger than the pleasure of gaining $100. This is why people obsessively check portfolios during crashes and sell at the bottom. Research shows people who check their accounts once a year or never are far more likely to build wealth. The less you look, the richer you get. And lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, you immediately upgrade your life to match. Nicer apartment, better car, fancier restaurants. Research shows 78% of people say they'll increase savings when they get a raise. Almost none actually do, unless it's automated. You know who's making money off your inability to save? Everyone. The financial industry makes money when you panic and trade. They make $0 when you buy one index fund and ignore it for 40 years. That's why they'll never tell you the solution is boring. Car dealerships now extend loans to 7 or 8 years so monthly payments look affordable. The average new car payment in early 2026 is $772 per month. That payment isn't $772. It's $1.74 million over 30 years at 10% returns. You're trading $1.7 million for the privilege of driving something that loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. Every advertisement is designed to convince you that your $500 belongs with them, not in an index fund. They're stealing your retirement $500 at a time, and most people never notice. You're probably thinking this only works for rich people. Let me tell you about a janitor who died with more money than most doctors. Ronald Reed was a gas station attendant and janitor in Vermont. Never made more than $20,000 a year, showed up to work in a jacket held together with safety pins, drove a 2007 Toyota Yaris with rust eating through the doors. His coworkers joked about how cheap he was. Ron died in 2014 at age 92. His estate was worth over $8 million. The same coworkers who made fun of his rusty Toyota had been working alongside a multi-millionaire for decades and had no idea. Ron just bought dividend-paying stocks every single week for 70 years, never sold. He could have retired at 50, but he liked his job. That's what financial freedom actually looks like. Sylvia Bloom was a legal secretary in Manhattan who took the subway for 67 years. When lawyers placed stock orders, she'd quietly buy smaller amounts of the same stocks. When she died, she had over $9 million. Grace Groner bought 3 shares of Abbott Laboratories stock in 1935 for $180. She reinvested every dividend and never sold. When she died in 2010, at age 100, those 3 shares had become $7.2 million. Fidelity now has 595,000 401k millionaires. Average contribution rate, 14.1% of salary. Average tenure, 26 years. That's it. The flip side, Americans aged 65 to 75 have a median retirement savings of $200,000. Social Security pays an average of $1,966 per month. 1 in 5 Americans over 65 is still working because they have to. These people worked 40 or 50 years and they're broke. They didn't fail because they were lazy. They failed because they spent the $500 on car payments and restaurants and things that seemed important but don't exist anymore. Before we get into exactly how to do this, make sure you're subscribed. I make videos like this every week, breaking down money and investing in plain English. Now let me tell you about the fee scam stealing $200,000 from your retirement. If you invest $500 a month for 30 years in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund with a 0.03% expense ratio, you'll have $1.124 million. In an actively managed fund charging 1% annually, you'll have $915,000. Same money, same time, $209,000 difference. That $250,000 went to the fund manager for underperforming the index. The funds you want are simple. Fidelity 500 Index Fund, ticker FXAIX, 0.015% fee. Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, ticker VOO, 0.03% fee. Schwab S&P 500 Index, ticker SWPPX, 0.02% fee. Pick any one. They all track the same index and cost almost nothing. Here's what nobody tells you about the $500 you think you don't have. Every $100 per month you invest becomes $226,000 in 30 years. Every $3.33 per day becomes $250,000. The money's there. You're spending it on things that'll be gone in 30 years, instead on being a millionaire. Let's talk about accounts. Roth IRA. You contribute after-tax money. Everything grows tax-free forever. The 2026 limit is $7,500 per year, which is $625 per month. On a $1.13 million portfolio, you save roughly $150,000 to $200,000 in taxes. If you're making under $153,000 single or $242,000 married, max this first. 401k. Pre-tax contributions. If you're in the 22% bracket and invest $500 monthly, your paycheck only drops $390. And if your employer matches, which most do, it's free money. Most common match is 50% on the first 6%. If you make $60,000 and contribute $500 monthly, your employer adds $150 free. So here's what you actually do. Step 1. Open a Roth IRA at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. Takes 20 minutes. Step 2. Link your bank and deposit money. Step 3. Buy one S&P 500 index fund, FXAIX, VOO, or SWPPX. Step 4. Set up automatic monthly investment of $500. Step 5. Forget the account exists. Don't check it every day. Let it compound while you live your life. I can show you all the math. I can tell you about janitors who became multimillionaires and doctors who died broke. None of it matters if you don't actually do it. And here's the thing about compound interest. Every day you wait, the math gets exponentially worse. Right now, $500 per month for 40 years gets you $3.16 million. Wait 1 year, you need $520 per month. Wait 5 years, $690. Wait 10 years, $1,050 per month. The target moves away faster than you can catch up.